Howdy. I'm going to tell a couple of stories because I have a point to make, and it's counter to a point that a lot of other people have made over the years, and I'm disagreeing with them, but I've got to tell these stories first. So years ago, I'm at a party. A friend of mine had a holiday party, and he had invited a few people that he worked with to come to the party. And they all worked basically in IT. So they did big mainframe stuff, and this is just this conversation they were having. Now, nobody was talking to me at all, and I was in the room with all of them, and they were just basically ignoring me and kind of talking around me as if I knew nothing. Truth be told, I am not an IT person, but I am a PC person, and I happen to read a lot. And I don't just read things about, well, computers. I read a lot of other stuff, and so they were talking about something, and they got to an area where none of them seemed to know this answer. They say, do you know such and such? I don't know this. I don't know this. Whatever. No, I'm not sure about this. I happen to have read something on that particular topic earlier in the day. And so, seeing my moment, I said, blank, told this whole story, and it was really short, and they all looked at me now with a different eye because they had been ignoring me. But now, all of a sudden, I may look like one of the smartest people in the room because I knew something none of them knew, and this was their business. So for the rest of the time when I was in that room with them, they kind of included me in on the conversation. They would look my way. And a couple of times I would say something, but in general I didn't say a lot because I had made my point, which was I'm not a dumb guy. I might know something you guys don't know. Had another time when I went to another party, and everyone in the room except my wife and I were PhDs. They were all educated, smart people. I have a bachelor's degree, but I have read a lot of different topics over the years, and I knew something about every single topic that all these people who had PhDs studied. Now, my wife did not have a bachelor's degree. She had an associate's degree. However, she's one of the most engaging people ever. She can talk to anybody. She can charm almost anybody. So, we're having fun at this party. I'm able to discuss things like philosophy and psychology and education, just like all of them who have these PhDs. Now, she is just able to talk about her experiences in business, whatever, that none of them ever had because all of them were also educators. And so later on, when we're getting ready to leave, the lady who invited us, she said, wow, you really captivated those people in there. You guys were so smart. One of the things that a lot of people in leadership say, and I see this all the time, they say if you're the smartest person in the room, you need to go and find smarter people. No, let's just throw that mess out of the window. If you're smart, you need to make sure other people know you're smart, but it does not mean you know everything. If you're a minority, you definitely need to let people know that you're smart. I remember one time I was going to be performing at a wedding because I used to sing at weddings, and I was going to be performing at a wedding. And I knew the bride, but I didn't know the rest of her family. So there were some of her family members there, and we're at the rehearsal dinner. And this one guy's wife started talking about him in nice terms. And she said he's really smart. He watches Jeopardy all the time, and he always knows all the answers. I said, well, I'm glad that you've got a wife who, appreciates your knowledge and everything. He says, oh, but I know everything. And I took that as a challenge. And so I said, oh, do you? Okay, let's do a test. Now, this was probably not the nicest thing I've ever done, but it was so satisfying. I started asking him questions, and he didn't know the answer to any of them. And he said he was an EMT, so I asked him a couple of EMT questions. He did not know the answers to those. Now, my wife later on said, you shouldn't have made him look bad in front of his wife, to which I said, I'm sorry. He sat there telling me he knew the answers to everything. I may be sensitive, but so what? He now can't say that anymore. He's now met a smart black person, and I don't know if that changed his mindset to anything else later on, but I had to prove a point. There's nothing wrong with being smart. Black kids are told that all the time. Oh, you think you're white and everything because you're so smart. No, you're smart because you're smart. It doesn't mean you know everything. If I go in and I'm with a bunch of people talking about cars and they start talking about carburetors and suspensions and stuff, I have absolutely no idea what any of those people. I know nothing about cars except tires. And sometimes even then when they start talking about different things, I don't know what they're talking about. I own up to that. I own up to anything I don't know anything about. Even stuff that I'm very good at, stuff that I'm very knowledgeable on, stuff that some people might say I'm an expert. You can be an expert. It doesn't mean you know everything. It doesn't mean that you can't be in a room full of a bunch of people talking about the same subject and not learn something. It does not mean that you can't be smart. It doesn't mean you can't be the smartest person in the room. But you have to have an open mind. You have to be willing to take in things you don't know. You have to be willing to learn from other people. And you know what? You just might learn from someone who isn't as smart as you or has a different type of education. There's nothing wrong with that. But walking in and saying, you know what, I'm the smartest person in this room, I just need to get away from these people. Don't do that. That's my thought of the day. It's a horrible way to be a person. It's a horrible way to be a leader. You're allowed to be the smartest person in the room if other people want you to be the smartest person in the room. But, like I said, leave your mind open so you're ready to learn other things. Be gracious and be able to talk to other people, but don't put up with people's mess. That's all I'm going to say. Let me know your thoughts on this. If you like this video, please like the video, share it with other people. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out of here. Y'all take care.